I'm Ed Bowsher from lovemoney.com, and in today's Soapbox I'm going to have a good rant about stamp duty. Now before I really get going, I should say that I've got no problem in principle with a tax on property sales. It's a good way to raise some revenue. I just object to the current property tax. It's mad. In fact, it's Britain's worst tax. So here's how stamp duty on house sales works now. Let's imagine you buy a house for £175,000. As things stand right now, you won't have to pay any tax. Stamp duty only kicks in on purchases greater than 175 grand and is then charged at 1%. Now that sounds fine, but there's a problem. The 1% is charged on the full purchase price. So if you buy a house for 176 grand, you pay £1,760 in stamp duty. But if you buy it just for £1,000 less, you pay no stamp duty whatsoever. I think that's illogical and unfair. But worse than that, it gives sellers and buyers an incentive to do dodgy deals to try and avoid the tax. They could pretend the deal was for 175 grand and not pay any tax. And then the buyer could hand over an extra £1,000 on the quiet. And the system is even more crackers at higher prices. At £500,000 it rises to 4%. So what would I do instead? I'd introduce a 2% rate on any property over 150,000. You'd only pay it on the cost above 150 grand. So for a property worth £151,000, you'd only incur £20 tax. But for a property worth £300,000, you'd pay £3,000. The government gets some money, everybody understands the rules, and there's no incentive for anyone to commit fraud. How about it, Mr. Darling?